Hello. You'll have to let me know how this is going. How is it sounding? I should have music playing under me, but I've never done it this way before, so I don't know how it sounds. Hello everybody. How's everybody doing? I gotta say, it's pretty nostalgic to be streaming and see Godzilla 154 in the chat. I missed that stuff. Sounds good? You can hear it? I just need to know if it's like gonna compete with my voice at all. Stink Floyd, you're not the only one, man. When hearing that Minus One won was exciting, but I didn't, first of all, I kind of expected the creator might win, but hearing Minus One won, it was exciting, but it wasn't enough. Like it didn't make me tear up. But what made me tear up was Yamazaki's acceptance speech, just because he just seems like such a wholesome guy. I thought it was really, really a beautiful moment, and I'm really like proud of him for doing it in English. That was clearly a very difficult thing for him to do. He was so clearly like nervous, and is not his first language, and it's a big hurdle for him to overcome, but I thought he did a really good job, and I just thought that was like such a perfect little moment. I thought that was really exciting. I was really into that. Yeah, I don't blame me, Godzilla 154. I have, me too, man. Me too. The music, the fact that they played Ifikube's music was so cool. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I get it. They do it for all of the, 54, Godzilla, you have missed quite a few of the streams. I know that they play the background music for all of the like people who win awards, and I get that. But this was like a special Oscars version of Ifikube's Godzilla theme. That was so exciting. Had that big swell at the end that was very King of the Monsters. Oh, I love that stuff, man. What's up? How are we doing, everybody? JJ, how's it going? Saturn Dusk, welcome back. Cody, how's it going? Joker, how's it going? Joey, hope you're doing well. You had tears in your eyes, so happy for the franchise. Same with me, Sunday. These streams aren't that rare. What's up, Nuts for Kaiju? Yeah, I have that, ironically, the tweet that I expected that might pop off is not the one that popped off. I thought I was pretty clever with the whole Godzilla Minus One. More like Godzilla Minus One. Oh! And that's when there's like fireworks and explosions going on behind me. But I saw that Guillermo del Toro retweeted some of my celebrations. That was cool. Oh, Saturn Dusk. I don't know if you've got your priorities in line. Oh, that was a big win. How's everybody feeling about it? Turkey, I don't think it's a big... yeah, I get that. The creator... I feel like the creator or Minus One were the only two movies that could win this award. They were the only two that should have won this award, and I'm happy that it doesn't matter which one it went to. I would have been happy with either. I feel like it's really exciting that it went to Godzilla, and I know Gareth Edwards was hyped for that. I know he was. And I know Yamazaki would have been hyped if Edwards had won too, because the two of them are buddies, and it's so wholesome. You're feeling hot and bothered. Why? I'm feeling hyped, man. I am so happy for Takashi Yamazaki and his crew. Everybody at Shirogami did an incredible job on Minus One. It's such an amazing movie. It's such a beautiful film. Everything really did come together so well. I feel like this movie needed the award for a few reasons. In a way, this award kind of represents... it's kind of sticking it to the Hollywood system, but not in the way that many other YouTubers would say that. I mean, in the way that... Exactly, I feel like the way that Yamazaki says it in his speech, where he says, for him, it was like proving that anybody can break into the industry regardless of where they are in the world. And being in Japan and working on their movie in Japan, it was such a hard monumental task for them to overcome to get this award. I mean, look, Godzilla's had a 70-year history, and now granted, not all of Godzilla's special effects I feel are Oscar worthy, but sometimes Godzilla truly was on the cutting edge of special effects, and Godzilla's never gotten the credit he deserves. In fact, in 2014, I feel like Godzilla was on the cutting edge of special effects and never really got that credit, but throughout Toho's history, the work they have done in the practical effects department, I think is truly leaps and bounds better than most other practical effects work we've seen done. Personally, I feel that Toho's practical effects work throughout Godzilla's franchise history is largely more impressive than the practical effects work in something like Star Wars. Now, there are certain times where I'm like, well, that Toho could never do Jurassic Park. Toho could never do that, but the fact that Godzilla's had a 70-year history of incredible, impressive special effects that it's never gotten its recognition is so exciting that now is the time, and I'm so happy that it was a Japanese Godzilla movie that got to do it, legitimizing 70 years worth of Godzilla's history in Japan. You know, when Godzilla came out in 1954, it came out in the United States, and nobody went and saw it. It was not critically received well at all. It came out subtitled, and it fell flat. One man did see that, I believe it was Edmund Goldstein, and he picked up the rights to Godzilla, and he released Godzilla King of the Monsters in 1956. He was one of the producers on that. And that film wound up getting a big praise from audiences, but was still, critics didn't like it. But the VFX in Godzilla 1954 are leaps and bounds ahead of the practical effects work we saw for creatures like dinosaurs in the United States. I think in some cases you have like King Kong, where the stop motion was so beautiful and impressive. Kong was nominated for an Oscar. Now Godzilla and Kong have both been Oscar nominees, and I believe King Kong 1933 won the Oscar, and Willis O'Brien didn't accept the award, if I'm remembering correctly, because I believe they wouldn't let his team accept it with him or something like that. But that's cool. The Godzilla and Kong, I believe, are now both Oscar winners. But in 1954, you had like the Rhedosaurus, which was beautiful and it looked great, but it didn't feel as real, I personally believe, as Godzilla felt, where I feel like the VFX in Godzilla were truly amazing. I don't know if there was a VFX Oscar, like I don't know who won in 1954, but it should have been Godzilla, and it wasn't. Ooh, Kong has 4 Oscar wins, 3 for 05, that makes sense, and for 76, that checks out. That makes sense. Yes, and the Heisei Gamera trilogy is really incredible special effects, especially that third movie. But I guess that's a discussion for whenever Gamera gets another movie, and if Gamera can get an award. Eddie, you're so backwards. I can't believe how backwards you are. I'm really happy for Minus One. I think this is such a beautiful moment. And I'm really happy that it happened on the 70th anniversary for Godzilla. That is so awesome. I completely agree, Turkey. I don't think that Godzilla would have worked with stop motion in 1954. I just don't think it would have been as good. I'm glad Ifukube was played at the Oscars too, Kira. Yes, Helm, they sure are. How you doing, man? Oh, I don't think Ultraman, Ultraman I don't think has the legacy that Godzilla has. I'd be shocked if any Ultraman is nominated for awards here in the United States anytime soon. Not saying it doesn't deserve them, I don't think that's gonna happen. Oh, I don't know how much Minus One has made worldwide currently. It's been a minute since I've checked the box office, and it's also been a minute since I've seen any updates on the box office. Looks like 107 million US was where it ended. Oh no, that's worldwide. 107 million worldwide, as it's been reported on Box Office Mojo, which is a pretty typically up-to-date source. Although it hasn't been updated since February, so At least from what I'm seeing. Wait, let me check. Let me check Japan. Can I check Japan? I don't want domestic. All territories. It hasn't been updated since February. February 10th is the last update, so we don't have an accurate number right now. Worldwide is 107 last time we saw, but we don't have an accurate estimation right now. I don't think Godzilla I don't think Godzilla Minus One would have stayed in theaters that much longer if I don't think it would have stayed in theaters that much longer if Godzilla X Kong wasn't coming out. I think we maybe could have gotten like 1 or 2 more weeks worth, but I don't think it would have stayed in theaters that much longer. Come back to this moment next year, D-Man. My bets are placed. Okay, all right. We'll see how the Ultraman movie goes. I know. Based on a less than $15 million budget, the budget's estimated to be around 11 million US. Yeah, really, really, really impressive work. That's another reason why I feel like it was a big moment why they nominated the movie. Not only did it have the smallest VFX team of all of the films, I believe that there was like 35 people working on the VFX for Minus One, but also you had a super small budget with like a dude's studio. This is Yamazaki's studio. It's not like ILM. It's Shirogami, which has some very impressive feats under their belt, but you know, we haven't heard of that in America. That's really big stuff, and I think that's the reason that it got nominated. That's the reason that it won the award. What do you think of the future for Toho Godzilla now? What type of response do you think we'll get? Well, I think Toho has been quite tight-lipped about what their plans are with Godzilla because they're waiting to see what's going to happen with the Oscars. I think that you want to know my honest guess is that Toho was fully ready to move on to a new director and a new project, but they didn't announce anything because they wanted to see where Minus One was going to go, and also because they didn't want to announce a Minus One sequel yet, because first of all, if they announce it and then they don't win the Oscar, it might seem like they're trying a little too hard, but also because generally speaking, it's in bad faith to announce a sequel before the Oscars. Joker's a perfect example. It was very clear when they made $1 billion that they were going to do a Joker 2, but they didn't announce it before the Oscars because it kind of, in a way, tarnishes what the movie's trying to do. Very rarely do you have an example of them announcing a sequel before the Oscars, unless the sequel was already announced before the original movie came out. I think that they were tight-lipped about what they're going to do with Godzilla. I would expect an update soon, and I would expect Yamazaki will be involved, although I'm not convinced he'll be the director. I have heard rumblings that Toho maybe has a direction they'd like to head and it wasn't with him, but I have a feeling that they could just pivot now that he's won the Oscar, he's an international celebrity. They could easily pivot and then do a sequel to Minus One. Or, like I've said in previous videos, just give him another Godzilla movie and let him do whatever. Godzilla 154, I'd be all for a Yamazaki Mothra movie. I was thinking about that watching the original Mothra recently. I feel like that it really could be a really cool film, especially if he sets it back in the 60s again, or something like that, you know. Like his Always films made it to the 60s, I believe. That'd be cool. And yeah, I'd love a Mothra movie taken seriously as well. I'm sorry, noob, that Minus One didn't release wherever you are. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know why Minus One didn't come out in some territories. I have no idea what's up with that. What do you think this means for the future of the franchise, the nerd? I would, the Ifukube music was great. For the future of the franchise, I don't know. you know, and like, this is gonna be a rough comparison. Don't take this too much the wrong way. But you know, like when Black Panther 2 came out and was like recognized for awards and really celebrated, but there are rumors that maybe the reason that the Oscars didn't celebrate it as much as maybe they could have was because of Quantumania kind of ruining, like coming out immediately afterward, and I believe it was Love and Thunder. I think it was Quantumania being a real stinker, and they felt like they couldn't celebrate Marvel at that moment. I would worry that the tonal whiplash that is going to occur when viewers who are now more excited about Godzilla than ever, especially coming off this Oscar win, coming off a very serious, earnest Godzilla film, when they go into GXK, I think the tonal whiplash could be enough to make people feel a little similar, where it's like, well, okay, Godzilla. I think my fear would be that -1 would be viewed as the outlier, the exception, rather than the rule. It's interesting when you listen to interviews from the year 2014 with Gareth Edwards, when he talks about what his plan was for Godzilla, and how his entire premise was not only redeeming the failure of 1998's Godzilla in the eyes of Japan, but also trying to redeem Godzilla in the eyes of international audiences and prove that Godzilla is a sophisticated character that can be in sophisticated movies. I personally feel like Godzilla 2014 is a little more pseudo-intellectual than intellectual at times. I think -1 was the movie that 2014 kind of should have been, but Legendary really completely abandoned their original mission statement to instead capitalize on the nostalgic view people have of Godzilla. And I would worry that in the future you could look at like people would look at the Monsterverse as like, well, that's what Godzilla is. Like maybe it starts serious but then gets really ridiculous, and that's just how it goes. Rather than taking it a little more seriously, like I would hope that -1 would kind of change the perception of Godzilla. That'd be my guess, is that maybe people are not going to really know how to feel with the tonal whiplash. That's not really me saying anything, because personally as Godzilla fans, I think we need the balance. Otherwise it's going to get stale, but that's more of for the general public. YV, I loved minus color. Ironically, out of the formats I saw -1, and the format I saw -1 in the most was ironically minus color. Obviously I've seen it in color more times, but like specifically the format I saw it in the most was minus color. I think I saw minus color 4 times, I think. Every era starts ridiculous except Reiwa. We got the anime trilogy for that. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't think none of the eras have started ridiculous. I don't think Toho's gonna rush a sequel. I think Toho's gonna really take their time with a sequel. I mean, they haven't. If they were gonna rush a sequel, they would have announced it immediately based on the opening weekend. I don't think Toho really rushes into those decisions because they've got so much in the pipeline. There's no level of, there's nothing. I truly believe that Toho absolutely knows what their next like animated project is going to be or something like that. Or they know what's going to tide us over. They know that we've got Godzilla Kong coming out, so we've got some time before they have to make another move. They know that they've got Legacy of Monsters in the works. There's going to be a season 2 of that. They know that. So I don't think there's a pressure to keep putting these movies out right away. So I don't think they're going to rush to drop a new movie anytime soon. That's what I think. I don't think there's any rush. I mean, look what happened with Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla was an enormous success in Japan, and they didn't rush a sequel to that. They instead took their time to figure out what the next best move was going to be, and it turned out not to be a sequel to Shin Godzilla. It turned out to be, -1. Although personally, I really, really hope they do a sequel to Minus One. Or at the very least, I really hope they bring back Yamazaki. Oh, Michi-san. What's up, man? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Of course, of course, of course. Daijobu. Is that the right word to use in that context? Daijobu. I think it is. My favorite movie from each era, The Spaceman. Showa era is 54. If you remove 54 from the equation, I'm gonna go like, should I go objective or should I go personal fan faves? Because then it'd be King Kong versus Godzilla or Mothra versus Godzilla if I was gonna go more quality. From the Heisei era, it is Godzilla versus Biollante both ways. The Millennium era, it is probably Godzilla against Mechagodzilla, or GMK quality-wise, and then the Reiwa era would be Minus One for both. And if you separate the American stuff, in that case, it's King of the Monsters. Do you think this Oscar win is going to help or hurt the American Monsterverse due to comparison reasons? I have no idea. I would guess that in the long run, Minus One is going to help. But I have a feeling right out the gate, reviews are going to be a little negative to mixed on GXK because people are like, what on earth? Just, again, due to the tonal whiplash. I think people are going to be like, what is going on? I'm going to do a pitch video. I've already recorded it. I just got to cut it. I got a pitch video in the works for my pitch for a Minus One sequel. In which I would go to the -2. I wouldn't bring Anguirus back, personally. I wouldn't. I would make up a new monster, and I've got an idea of what that new monster could be, and I think people would be very down for it. Actually, I know people would be very down for it. I know it for a fact, but I would not do Anguirus. Yamazaki did a wonderful job. I got my Jada RC Godzilla in the closet back there that I gotta unbox at some point. Childish, it sure is. But it's a very specific one. Yeah, Godzilla x Mechagodzilla, that's a great movie. I love that movie. Oh, Dai-chan! How's it going, man? Thank you so much. Arigato! Thank you. I really miss hanging with Dai-chan. I will never be able to thank him enough for taking me around, showing me around Hibiya. That is one of my favorite memories that I've ever had. That was like one of the greatest days of my entire life. And I'm so excited that I got to hang out with him that day. It was so cool. I love you too, man. I hope you're doing well. Congratulations on how big your channel's getting. Your channel is blowing up. That is so cool. The general consensus on turn your brain off movies has been on the decline already. From what I've seen, the tonal whiplash won't help at all. I think that the turn your brain off type entertainment, the reason that it worked so well with Godzilla vs. Kong is because we were coming out of the pandemic and every single one of us needed an escape. And for many of us, that movie was the escape. That's not happened again. And so I think that's probably the reason. We've got a string of turn your brain off movies. And the more of that you get, the harder it is to swallow all of it. I'm not talking about the Monsterverse. I'm talking about movies. Like all sorts of movies. I think that's probably what you're seeing, is that probably There's just been too many of them. There's not really, people aren't feeling the desperation to get back to that. And when you look at the movies that were celebrated, it was like Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, which was like the night's big winner. And the reason that all those movies did so well was because these were the types of movies that you didn't turn your brain off for, that you engaged with. Are you going to paint any of your minus Gojis golden? Well, the only two that I have are sitting with me today. The Bandai Movie Monster series, Godzilla, and then the Godzilla Oto version. I suppose I do have the Movie Monster series theater exclusive version up above my head. I'm not going to be painting either of these guys golden. If I get a second one, I'm not opposed to painting it golden and painting on that little bow tie, which was so cute, and I really, really want a Bandai Movie Monster series Oscars victory version Godzilla with the gold and the bow tie. That would be incredible. I feel like we all gotta tell Bandai to make that, because that would be amazing. I heard something about Toho having another Godzilla Fest in Osaka on April 28th, 2 days after Godzilla X Kong's Japanese premiere. Do you think they'll announce -2 or anything? I wouldn't think so. I think because Toho makes so much money from Godzilla, Toho makes so much money from the Monsterverse, I don't think that there's any rush to announce a sequel. Like I said, I think if there's going to be a sequel announcement, it'll probably be on Godzilla Festival on November 3rd. I would expect that is when we will hear an update on what their next move is going to be. Maybe they'll announce like an animated thing or something, though. I don't know. They'll probably, if there's going to be a Godzilla Festival Osaka, they will probably announce what their shorts this year are going to be. Like the next G versus G, the next Gigan Rex short, you know, the next one in the line, which should be Mechagodzilla, right? Or is it Gigan? No, obviously not. It's Mechagodzilla. So I think they'll announce the next Godzilla versus Gigan Rex, you know, sequel movie, which is going to be Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla. They'll announce the next little like suitmation shorts that they do. That's what I would expect. Do you know when the next Monarch season is coming? I believe KDM just announced that it was going to come late 2025. I don't know why it would take so long. I guess they just hadn't started it yet. Anyone know if previous Godzilla movies were nominated for Oscars? They were not, but Kong Skull Island was, which has Godzilla's roar, has a Godzilla silhouette in it. Yes, thank you so much for tuning in, Dai-chan. The Cult of Godzilla, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Thank you, man. I've been a Godzilla fan for almost all of my life, and seeing him finally get an Oscar made me very happy. Also, I have done nothing but draw Goji's designs for days in anticipation for today. Well, I am right there with you, man. I am right there with you. I too am hyped about that stuff. You came here from Dai-chan. Thank you so much, S. Mari. I can't read kanji yet. Let me translate. I know that just his name is in kanji, but I don't want to mess up when I'm trying to read his chat. Thank you for always praising Godzilla. No problem. What is this one? Japan's Godzilla did it. Sure did. Sure did. King Ghidorah was teased at the end of the Jaguar short. That's right. I did see that. I don't know why it'd be Ghidorah again, though. I don't know why Ghidorah. She was a little early. Mechagodzilla doesn't seem to be having an anniversary celebration this year. Nothing was announced last November, which the last couple of years have been. Well, maybe it's because they want to do an announcement at the Osaka Festival. I don't know. I guess we'll see. I didn't hear anything about the Osaka Festival until right now. Really great news hearing about Godzilla Minus One getting the Oscar. Definitely. Ghidorah is having a Joker effect? What does that mean? Do you know when Godzilla Minus One Blu-ray will come out? I would guess at the end of this year, and I think at the summer to quarter 3 or 4 this year in Japan, I'm gonna guess. And then I believe in America, probably next year, at the start of next year, something like that. Oh, sounds like May. Maybe May in Japan. May 1st in Japan. I don't know about America. I would think it might take a while for America. Toho, I mean, it took us a while to get the Shin Godzilla Blu-ray. Oh, Richard's saying June. I haven't heard anything about that, so I don't know. But that's a lot sooner than I expected. That's really awesome. Do you think Yamazaki would like to do a Rodan movie? I think he could pull off such a movie really well. I think it's about time we get another Rodan solo movie. If you've seen my video where I pitched what Toho should do following Minus One, my pitch was that I really believe Toho should do a Worlds of Godzilla mini universe and kick it off with a solo Mothra and Rodan film. I would love a Rodan film in the style of Minus One. Really grounded, really good, like, character movie. The original Rodan, I think, is really underrated because it was the first kaiju movie ever played as a horror mystery. The original Godzilla has a little bit of mystery elements in the first 20 minutes of the movie before Godzilla shows up, and it has horror elements, but Rodan is truly a horror movie. The original Rodan, I think, is so awesome and has so much potential. I would love a Rodan movie. I think if you gave me the choice right now between a really well-produced Rodan solo movie or another Mothra movie, another solo Mothra movie, I'd pick Rodan because the guy deserves the spotlight for once. Although Mothra does need a comeback. Do you think it's possible for our boy Kong to ever get a Minus One type movie? If so, how would you do it? Mr. Milkman, he has gotten it. In 2005, it's called King Kong. It was directed by Peter Jackson, and it's a phenomenal movie. And it was really, it was critically praised. Audiences liked it. People definitely didn't love the runtime, but the movie has a legacy that people really love that movie. It's like a true movie, you know, a cinema movie. I really would love to see Gamera get a comeback. You remember the Gamera 2015 trailer and how wonderful that was? Where's that movie, man? I know that was a short film to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Gamera, but man, I want that movie. I'm glad to see people agree with me about Rodan. I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to get a AAA Godzilla game anytime soon. That King Kong movie's amazing. I feel like King Kong 2005 and Minus One are cut from similar cloth. Rebirth didn't do so well. We might not see Gamera for a while. Or again. I think the reason Rebirth didn't do amazing was, first of all, because it was an animated project. It was 3D animated. It also dropped on Netflix. I don't feel like there was a lot of confidence behind it in the first place. I feel like it was kind of a dipping their toes in the water to see if there was interest. And I feel like, generally speaking, there was interest, but people weren't interested in that project. I think if you get Kaneko back, something like that. If you get Kaneko back and direct a theatrical Gamera movie, I think it'd do very well. I like everybody just pitching Yamazaki to become the new Ishiro Honda. A War of the Gargantuas movie by him would be cool. I agree, Jeff. Godzilla Minus One won an Oscar. Godzilla won his first Oscar the same year that The New Empire, or the same month that The New Empire is coming out. That's pretty freaking cool. Oh, Plague Doc 22349. Thank you so much, man. 70 years and Godzilla can be the next King of the can be the next King Kong at the Oscars. Now I just need a Gamera Oscar nomination. I want to do it if no one else will. I'm right there with you, man. How's it going, Jeremy? Yes, this is the 70th anniversary. It sure is. Thoughts on Dune 2 and thoughts on Yamazaki doing a Dune movie since he's a Star Wars fan. I didn't see Dune 2. Not really my jam. I think Yamazaki doing a Dune movie, like, I'd just let him do Star Wars. Don't stick him into a franchise he's not as interested in. Let him do Star Wars. Kira, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. D-Man, arigato. For all Godzilla fans, it's a great day. It sure is. And then Asmari, thank you for celebrating. Thank you for celebrating with us. Even though I'm old, I want to see Godzilla 4 times. I went to see Godzilla 4 times. Godzilla's song gets me excited every time I watch the movie. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that, you guys. Thank you so much. I gotta say, I really, really love the Godzilla Minus One fan base. I really love interacting with my international fans. And it really is exciting that I get to interact with so many Japanese Godzilla fans. That has been one of the biggest honors of talking about Godzilla Minus One that I've had. It's been super exciting. I really love that fan base. It's just so awesome and supportive and kind. And it's just so much different than what I'm used to. I really, really appreciate it. In Japan, Toho's 30cm series Godzilla 1 sold out in an instant. I'm sad that I can't make a reservation. I don't know what you're talking about, the 30cm Godzilla. Is that the, what brand did that one? I was sad that I didn't get the one that Yamazaki always carries around. I forget who did that one, but that's an expensive Godzilla. And I didn't get it because it sold out. So maybe we're talking about the same one. Kira agrees. Was anyone able to understand Yamazaki's speech? Yeah, I mean, there was only like one part of it that I didn't quite understand. Yes, the Ichiban Godzilla. Let me look that up right now. Ichiban Godzilla Minus One. It's $94. Pre-orders sold out. That's a bummer. I don't know where a good place to get that one would be, where it wouldn't be like so over expensive because it's being resold. I assume the Japanese fan base is a lot chiller than the Western Godzilla fan base. Well, certainly the fans that I've interacted with. I know that there's equally passionate fans in Japan who like. I know based on the comments I've read, there is a lot of people who don't like Shin Godzilla as much as some of us in the U.S. do, which was kind of shocking to see that reaction when I was discussing Minus One. I'm sure you've got corners of that fan base that is equally as overwhelming as ours in America, but I feel like our American fan base is a lot to handle. I did not know it was getting a reissue, but Godzilla 154, whenever it does, I gotta snag it. You gotta let me know, because I want it. I want it bad. Big Bad Toys, it's not up for pre-order. It's sold out on Big Bad. Oh, Plague Doctor, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. The author of Black Clover and the authors of Chainsaw Man and Kaiju Number 8 really inspired me to write. Adam Wingard plus Yamazaki are my final steps. That's fantastic. I think the films that inspired me to become a filmmaker, almost all of them are kaiju films. Yamazaki is definitely... Wingard opened my mind up to the possibility of doing movies that were just fun. Before that, I always wanted, like, anything I worked on to be very serious, and Godzilla vs. Kong made me realize the value of having completely the opposite, like a really exciting, fun, turn your brain off, escapist film. Godzilla vs. Kong was a really wonderful reminder of that side of movies, and immediately following Godzilla vs. Kong, that was the type of film that I made. And then Yamazaki has helped me reshape a lot of my thoughts on the type of movie I want to make, in that a lot of the writing that I did was very dark and bleak, and I felt like Minus One was so beautiful and inspiring that I take a lot of inspiration from how gentle he was with that movie. The Ichiban reissues should be... Oh. Hold on. The Ichiban reissue should be up for order soon. It's entirely done because of the Oscars. Well, there you go. I gotta know when it drops. Plague Doctor, thank you so much. I really appreciate all the support you're giving. What I mean is, I finally want to make my own book. Well, you know who would be great, and I see somebody else shouting him out? Jeremy Robinson. Jeremy Robinson is a wonderful kaiju writer. If you want to write something like him, or if you want to write something like kaiju inspired in novel form, a really great writer to look at would be Jeremy Robinson, because he does have a super successful series, the Nemesis series. I really loved Tether. I thought that was so cool. Tether really inspired me to... Actually, I'm working on a script right now, very singular point styled script, that was inspired by Tether. So there you go. Godzilla Man 2054. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Hey D-Man, I love the channel. If you could do a Gamera movie, what would you have it be? Would you have it be similar to Minus One in terms of style and tone? Absolutely. If I was to do a Gamera movie, or if I got to pick what the next Gamera movie was gonna be, yeah. Well, but I feel like we kind of already have that with the Heisei films. I feel like the Heisei Gamera trilogy a little bit is that, and I'm down for more of that because those movies are wonderful. Better Up Saber, or Battle Up Saber, I doubt it. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know why the movie didn't get released in many Asian territories. I have no idea. I've heard very little about that. I don't know. I want to be a director for a while. When I was a kid, studied to be an engineer now. Oh, nice. Nice, Halo. I love that everybody's pitching Yamazaki to do new new films. Now Daimajin, which I still need to watch those movies. I feel like Yamazaki watched Shin Godzilla's atomic ray scene and thought to himself, that was so intense and emotional. Let me do it on every scene now. I don't think that any single moment in Shin Godzilla even begins to reach the emotion of Minus One. It's just not the same type of story. As a Star Wars fan, we need someone like Yamazaki. As a non-Star Wars fan, I agree, because those movies lack character. They've got characters, a lot of them, but they lack a character or somebody who I can really root for. I really love some of the Star Wars movies. I agree, Godzilla 154. I'm all for a Yamazaki Cars movie, a Yamazaki movie set in the Cars universe. Ooh, let's get a really grounded Yamazaki movie set in the Cars universe, not a Cars movie. What's like in boats? Oh, how about this? Take the idea of Minus One in post-war Japan, following the war. You get a couple boats that have to go around disarming the undersea mines. and like the intensity of that, and how if they make one wrong step, they're gonna explode. That'd be good. Yeah, will do. I'll let Yamazaki know. I'll send him this. I'll start writing the script and send it to him immediately. Given your thoughts on movies, give your thoughts on movies. You'd be a great movie director, D-Man. Yo, given your thoughts. Thank you very much, Jeff. I really appreciate that. That's super nice. We did just write the next Yamazaki movie. Everybody tweet him. Tweet him about the cars. Here, I'll tweet it. I'll tweet it. I'll tweet it. What we need is at Takashi Yamazaki to direct the next movie in the Cars universe, Boats, post-war, the boats have to go out and disarm mines. It's like -1 minus Godzilla in a way. It's really just a grounded story about a few boats trying to clean up the mess of military ships. If this winds up being the tweet of all of the tweets that I've sent tonight that he winds up seeing, Lord have mercy on my soul. Cars universe boat. He's out partying tonight, so he's not going to see this, luckily. All right, there you go. I tweeted it. Now you got to do your duty, and you got to make that tweet blow up. You got to make that tweet go viral. I held up my end of the bargain. Now it's time to hold up yours. Stink Floyd, I completely agree. I think if Yamazaki wants his mental health to remain intact, he should actually stay away from Star Wars, unfortunately. I just think that franchise is such a mess. Plague Doctor, I really appreciate the super chats, man. You don't gotta go so hard. He says, my last super chat, the book I'm making, if you're wondering, is still in early stages. I figured out 2 of the kaiju. Plague Slayer on Patreon. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. I got the SH-1, so yippee. Thank you, man. I really appreciate all your support. I've got the SH monster. It's Godzilla -1 sitting right here, right next to me off screen. I gotta unpack him in a video at some point and review him. I haven't checked him out yet. I agree that Boats -1 would be a really good Oscar-winning movie. Best animated picture. It is a great day for kaiju fans. Totally agree. 58 grew up in the greatest era ever. The Showa era. It's wonderful to see the masters of Godzilla, Kaiju, Toho films. Congrats, Toho films, the best ever. I agree, man. Yeah, very true. Star Wars didn't treat the last Godzilla director very well. It treated him so horribly, he took a break from movies for half a decade. More than half a decade. It's been a decade since Gareth Edwards like really made a movie, or nearly. I own the Monsterverse -1 and got the Super 7 minus color pre-order so I can have... Oh, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. I also pre-ordered the Super 7 Godzilla -1 minus color. Yamazaki should travel via plane. Shaped like Rodan. I don't know how aerodynamic that one would be. I saw somebody asking if I think Yamazaki will be involved in the Monsterverse. I would expect that the Monsterverse is gonna want to remain its own thing. I think it's gonna want to. I think if they bring in Yamazaki, it might look a little like they need help. But that being said, I could see Legendary getting involved in the next Yamazaki film. I know he's openly spoke about how he would really love to have a US-Japan funded Godzilla film. And if you were to get Yamazaki involved, so he could work on, or if you were to get Legendary involved with Yamazaki's next Godzilla film, so he could work with American talent, with American money, and be a little more international, I think that would be a really cool opportunity. I could see them bringing him in as a producer or to get some story input. I just don't think he would have that large of a role. I don't think that the Monsterverse wants that. I do think that to a degree it would make it look like the Monsterverse isn't confident in their own ideas, but I could see them being having him involved in some small way or just supporting his next project. Wingard and Yamazaki filmed some promo or something on the Warner Bros. Lot. I think they were waiting for the Oscars to post it. The Oscars win to post it. I've seen the pictures of them doing that. I have a feeling it's going to be to hype up Godzilla X Kong when that comes out in theaters. In fact, if they wanted to be really clever about it, they would play that in front of Godzilla X Kong in theaters, the same way that in Japan, we were treated to Gareth Edwards and Yamazaki sitting down to discuss Godzilla 2014 and Godzilla -1 before -1 played. I'd be down to see a Yamazaki cameo. How was your reaction when you saw Godzilla -1 win an Oscar? I didn't. The fact that -1 won an Oscar didn't get me to. I felt excited about it, but that wasn't what I was like emotional over. What I was emotional over was Yamazaki's speech, seeing how nervous he was, seeing him overcome those nerves, give the speech, and really persevere against all odds. I thought that was the victory of the night. I thought that was really cool. Oh, all right. See you later, Alpha Dragon. Thank you so much for all the support, man. I teared up when Yamazaki ended his speech. I just thought it was so sweet. I thought it was a little annoying that they played the get off the stage music, but I get that they need to do that to keep the show rolling. His speech was so wholesome. I totally agree. You know, Train, what's funny is I haven't seen the -1, or I haven't seen the Dead Meat Horror Awards yet. I don't know what -1 won yet. I'm gonna watch those soon. But I'm excited to find out. It sounds like it won something. It definitely deserved. I thought that it deserved all of the nominations they gave it, and I was so excited that they were giving it so many nominations. That was so cool. Minecraft World, I don't blame you, man. Yes, I did. I did hear that Edwards was gonna consider directing the next Jurassic movie. In fact, I made a whole video about it. Everybody just wants him to direct new different. Now we're pitching Yamazaki for the Jurassic franchise. Childish Landino, I know. I want to go back on. I was promised, not promised. honest. They said in the original video I did with them that they wanted to do a follow-up where we talked about 1998's Godzilla. I still think that would be super, super fun. I really wanted to chat with Chelsea about Frankenstein Conquers the World. I think she would be really down with that movie. I think she'd think that one was a cool one. I'm glad to hear that that you celebrated Psycho. I never seen Akira, so I can't speak to that. I would expect King James, I would expect that Japanese Godzilla movies moving forward are going to have a lot more attention and legitimacy. And I would expect that American Godzilla films might have a bit of an uphill battle. I know, box office. I have no idea when I'll hit it. It's been a long time coming. We've been slowly climbing the ladder. I absolutely annihilated my channel by taking a hiatus essentially for 4 years through college, but I'm really excited to be back and have the ball rolling again. All right, sounds good, Godzilla 154. We sure did do it, man. All right, get good sleep, man, and I hope work goes well for you in the morning. What time would be best for you, man? When is your like most available time to watch streams? I feel like I never I stream at like random points in the day, and I feel like I never see ya. But I get that you're busy. I totally get it, and I appreciate your support regardless, man. I've not seen Shogun yet because I don't have Hulu. Should a Mothra movie be a reboot of the 1961 Mothra movie, since Minus One was basically a remake of 54? I don't feel like Minus One was a remake of 54 at all in any way. I think the only real similarities the movies have is the time period, the fact that it's a Godzilla solo film, and maybe that he destroys Ginza in both. Other than that, I can't wrap my head around why people are still calling Minus One a 54 remake. If they were to do another Mothra movie, I do think it should be a loose adaptation of the original Mothra film. Do you think Godzilla winning will remove the stigma the Oscars have about science fiction and fantasy movies? Maybe. I think that they'll need to do more to if Minus One had won Best Picture, yes. But it won a technical award, so probably not. Oh, what's up, Godzilla Cartoon? How you doing, man? Mostly in the afternoons, but it's kind of hard to line things up given how we are in different time zones now. Working retail kills me. I understand, man. Doing 3D printing modeling on the side also takes up my time. Are you, you do commissions for that, right? Don't you? That's really cool. No, you don't stress about it, man. Don't stress about tuning in. But it was cool to see you. It's cool to see you back in the stream. I've definitely missed having you on here. I've missed the, I feel like the community aspect of content creating really changed over the past couple years, and I feel like it's a lot harder to engage with the community. That's why I like doing streams like this every now and then, because I actually get to talk to you guys. I feel like the comment sections are just so nasty that I really hate going into them these days. Do you think more Japanese directors will be given opportunities for Godzilla movies by Toho moving forward? Well, absolutely. Yeah, by Toho. I would like to see more Japanese directors getting opportunities in Hollywood moving forward. That's what I would like to see. Do you think the Gemstone shorts might be made into full films? No, I do not. do you watch Godzilla stop motions, and who? Chuck, I don't, but one creator who I haven't watched in a minute, Jake, what is his channel called? How can I not think of what his channel is called? He does a really good Zone Fighter ones. Daikaiju Legends. I'm always super impressed with the quality of those. I wonder if Minus One was a start to a cinematic universe. I don't think so. I will not do a video covering the Oppenheimer score. Currently, I'm mostly designing bust models and turning those into kits for figures. That's super cool, man. Working on my own full figures as well. That's so awesome. Taking my eye for accessories and selling them as upgrades for SHMA. That is sick. Your freaking Gigan one with the ball chain hand was so rad. All right, take care, Godzilla 154. Do you think an English dub for Minus One in theaters after the Oscars win would appeal to a more general audience? Well, an English dub is always going to appeal to a more general audience, despite what cinephiles will tell you. I don't think we're going to get one in theaters. It would be cool if we got one on the DVD, because that'd be a good way for kids to get into the movie. And then you get the people that are like, I brought my kid to the movie and my kid loved it. Your kid's weird and likes to read. Most kids don't. Any big plans for a big stream the day after or the day before GXK drops? Not before, certainly, because the spoiler culture around that film is so ridiculously nasty. But maybe afterward. GXK is hard to engage with. The spoiler culture really ruins it. Oh, can I just address a quick elephant in the room now that I'm streaming? I don't know how many people are in here. You can, all of you can keep this secret or spread it if you want. I don't care. I made a video discussing the spoiler culture around the New Empire, and a lot of people thought I was talking about Wartsu. To be 100% clear, I had literally never heard of Wartsu before those comments. No, I was not. But it sounds to me like I also was. I was discussing the topic of the spoiler culture, and if I happened to describe behavior that guy does, then I guess I was. Was I intending to discuss him? No, that was not my intention. Yeah, man, that's Gen Z. We're into a new generation now, aren't we? Or is Gen Z the one currently running? But I also don't think that doesn't apply to everybody. Like, that's not universal. I don't know where that data comes from either. I bet that data could be easily contested. Yeah, the spaceman, I'm right there with you. You know what's heartbreaking? I shouldn't discuss this topic because I don't love it. But what's heartbreaking is there's a Godzilla channel that covers these movies, that covers leaks and pretends they don't cover leaks. And all of the comments on their videos are like, oh my god, I'm so happy that I've avoided spoilers and leaks, and I love that I just get your speculation. I've seen a lot of people on my comment section being like, the fact that D-Man doesn't cover leaks, that's why I love him, and that's why I love this other channel. That channel does cover leaks. And there's gonna come a point in when many people are watching the new Empire when they're gonna realize all of this channel's predictions are correct, because the channel covers leaks and no longer announces it. They announced it 4 months ago, but they don't now. And so the people, you have been spoiled. You absolutely have been spoiled, and you just don't know it, and it's really disgusting behavior. If you feel like people whose clout or worth coming from them destroying the work or souring the experience of someone else's hard work are people that don't have a ton of worth, and they need to change that behavior. The Spaceman, you probably do. Most people do. Most people do watch them. It's late for you, gotta go. I got things to do tomorrow. All right, good night, man. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it, Joey. I'm gonna do a video. I'll do a video within the next few days about Minus One winning the Oscar. I don't know if that'll be tomorrow, but it would be soon. I'm gonna do that soon. And I also am working on a video about the VFX of Godzilla in general, kind of a response to the new Empire discourse, where people are really negative on the new Empire's VFX. I think what's interesting to me is that the VFX in Minus One are not flawless. Like, there are some shots that I think are truly worse than any of the shots in the Monsterverse. But that's an Oscar-winning movie. Like, I feel like people don't. I feel like people pick and choose what they're critical of. That's kind of the thesis of that video that I want to make. I feel like Minus One is a beautiful movie that was super well realized, and I absolutely think it deserved the Oscar. And I personally don't hate VFX errors. I think sometimes VFX errors are really endearing. Yeah, Turkey, that's one of the shots I'm talking about. The tanks, I feel like, absolutely look a little strange. Well, the difference in, yeah, I feel like you shouldn't expect perfection, ever. Like, and then I get people saying, like, well, Avatar looked incredible. Dude worked on Avatar for 100,000 years. There's a reason that between Avatar movies, 8 decades passed. Because the VFX took so long. But in order to get a movie on a quicker turnaround, you have to speed up the production. That's where the VFX errors are generally coming from, not necessarily the budget. The budget, clearly, Minus One proved, the budget doesn't play into it as much. Good night, Leo. Train, I don't even think that the VFX in that shot I think look really good. It's just the movement that's weird, and I don't think that's a VFX error. I think that's a stylistic choice that I disagree with. Monkey, that has been happening to me like crazy. Like crazy. I've been getting recommendations of videos that is just straight up leaked images as the thumbnails. I don't even think the fearsome Godzilla has evolved shot of him breaking. That shot looks good to me. I think the lighting on the ice looks a little strange. Like, the ice looks a little plastic, but like, I don't know, it's not that big of an issue. It doesn't ruin the experience for me. I haven't seen the movie yet, so I don't know how I'll feel about the whole movie overall. Maybe I will feel like that there is a line that eventually is crossed, and it truly is taking me out of the movie too much of the time. But generally speaking, I feel like everything I've seen has looked pretty solid. The Spaceman I did, and I covered it recently. I just did a video on that. Jesus, I just did a video a couple weeks ago about that exact topic, about studios taking the wrong lesson from Minus One. And I agree. I hope that there are a lot of lessons I think should be taken from Minus One, and there are a lot that I think shouldn't be taken from Minus One. No worries. Let me see. I want to try something. There's a shot in Godzilla Minus One that I feel like Twitter would have nitpicked to high heavens had it been the Monsterverse, but it wasn't the Monsterverse, and so Twitter gave it a pass. But I feel like this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about, where people pick and choose what they want to be critical of. Where is this picture? It's kind of hidden somewhere in here. My Minus One folders are a little disorganized at the moment. And I have noticed it multiple times. I've seen the movie enough to where I have noticed it during the film. And I just don't much care. It doesn't break the immersion for me. Especially because it happened so quickly. But look at this shot. This is in the movie. Look at the edges here. Look at the edges on Godzilla. That's in the movie. Look at the edges on the boat. That's in the movie. And if this had happened in the New Empire, like, we'd never hear the end of it. But people pick and choose what they want to nitpick. And this is followed by one of the most freaking beautiful shots in the whole movie. Or I guess it's preceded by. Because immediately before that, it looks like this. Look how amazing this looks. It's all about the context of how it happens on screen. That's entirely what it comes down to. It comes down to the context of how it plays out, how the scene is edited, how the music is going, what the mood and the emotion of the moment is. And if the emotion of the scene is right, you're not going to be thinking about it, so you're not going to notice. Oscar Hernandez, thank you so much. Longtime follower, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for the super chat, I really appreciate that. Oscar says, do you think they'll ever have a crossover with Pacific Rim or Gamera into the Monsterverse? Not Gamera into the Monsterverse. I do not think we'll get a Gamera crossover in the Monsterverse anytime soon. Pacific Rim, I think maybe a comic book would be our best bet, but I don't think a movie. I don't know, Childish. I could very well see if GXK does really well, them doing another Wingard film. The Shinden taking off looks a little floaty too, just before the close-up shot. I think the Shinden, generally speaking, looks amazing, especially when it's practical. I don't know what shot in particular you're talking about where it looks a little floaty. But again, that just comes down to like the emotion, how the VFX are used. Jurassic Park doesn't have perfect VFX. The Velociraptor disappears in the T-Rex's mouth for a frame. There are certain shots that don't look as good as others. It's just about the emotion, how they're used. I agree. I never thought Godzilla would be an Oscar-winning franchise. but I am so delighted that it is, and I could not be happier for Yamazaki and his team. Well, Childish, they've already rebooted the Pacific Rim continuity with Pacific Rim the Black, so, you know, they very well could reboot again in a comic. I think a comic book is the most likely place for that. A comic book is where I could see that happening. If it happens in a movie, that's the last one they're going to make. That's going to be the final one of both the Monsterverse and Pacific Rim for sure. Oh, I gotcha. That wide shot of it taking off. I feel like the thing that looks weird in that shot is the guys saluting in the background are clearly CGI. But again, it does not compromise the scene at all. But this goes to show you can nitpick. You can nitpick anything. In fact, there's a popular Godzilla YouTube channel that I have a DM from them where they described the movie as looking like an asylum film at times. And then they gave it a raving review because they wanted you all to love them and they didn't want you to know what they actually thought. But you can nitpick anything. It just depends on if you want to. And I don't think people want to nitpick Minus One because it was really good. And I think people have made up their minds about stuff. But you can nitpick anything. I don't think you should. And I think Minus One speaks to that. When the movie is done well enough, when the emotion is done well enough, when the whole is greater than the sum of its parts, no point nitpicking. What's up, Mike? How you doing? I hope you're doing well, man. Thanks for tuning in. I don't disagree. To destroy all monsters, we made monsters of our own. That's a good quote. To destroy all monsters, we made monsters of our own. I know that's just a riff on the line, but that was a good one. Guys, we gotta stop calling Godzilla X Kong a Showa era tone. Let us not forget that the Showa era also contains some of the most serious Godzilla movies ever released. Mothra vs. Godzilla, which uses some fantasy elements, but is a very serious film. Godzilla Raids Again, which is arguably the most serious Godzilla movie, more than the original in some ways, or at least it's more, not tonally serious, but I guess realistically portrayed. The 54 film, which is probably the most serious Godzilla film ever made. The Showa era, Minus One is just the Showa era in terms of tone and style. It just depends on what you want to, what type of Showa you're talking about. The Spaceman, I have done quite a few. Or at least crossover live streams. No, Execute Order 69. I do not think he will have a progressive evolution. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that, Mike. Alright, good night, Kingzilla. I'm not far behind you guys. I'm really wiped out today. I'm really tired today, and also, I've been fighting a bad headache all stream, so it's kind of hard for me to focus. I also really like the Raids Again design. It's grown on me over time. I think it's very creepy. If Godzilla's going to fight another monster in the next film, I would like to see a battle with dark music. I agree. I totally agree. Yeah, I was very tired from the Oscars celebration. Probably tired from making this live stream. Live streaming is tiring. I agree Godzilla is the best. And I all agree, I cannot believe they won either. The last I saw, everybody's reactions on Twitter was very excited, very positive. Everybody's celebrating. I'm gonna dive back into Twitter and see if I get any. What else do we got on here? Not seeing anything super new at the moment. Looks like the actor who played Hota is celebrating right now. Hota is a very underrated character. Oh, what's up, Belt? Thank you for tuning in from Gold Coast, the home of the New Empire's filming. Only recently found your account. Absolutely love your work. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you for loving Godzilla from Japan. Thank you, Billy. Thank you, Billy Ken. I appreciate you. Well, I'm heading out. Congrats to -1. All right, Sleepwalking. Are you going to do another TV spot? Please do. I am going to do some more TV spots. Do you think Anguirus should be the rival monster for in a Godzilla -1 sequel? I do not. Do you think the success of all the recent Godzilla movies will get a legitimate Godzilla game? I don't know. We've got Godzilla showed up in Giga Bash. That's pretty cool. I don't think we're gonna get another big Godzilla game at any moment. I'm stunned, very glad, tired. That one too. I don't want Mountain Dew played out. I want to go to bed soon. I said this on Twitter, but Adam Wingard's Godzilla character really reminds me of the Ghidorah Abara type Godzilla. I completely agree. Where Godzilla's a bit of an asshole, but he'll do kind of the right thing just because it benefits him. I totally agree. What I loved about 2014 was the fights where the people just stood there powerless. It draws you in. Yes. That's one of the things that made -1 so effective, was moments like Unscathed when Godzilla gets blasted by the tanks and it does not affect him. -1 sweeped all the awards it was nominated for. Good night, Turkey. I like that there's a lot of gatekeeping right now, where people are like, this movie's too popular. It's gonna ruin our little fan club we've got. I think it's a ridiculous opinion. If you want the franchise to be healthy, it's got to keep going. If Strike Zone was developed into a full game, Kong 2005 style would sell well. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Depends on how it's executed. But that is the type of Godzilla game I would make. A little bit of a City Shrouded in Shadow type vibe, but better handled. I don't know what Packard would think of Scar King. I think he'd blow his brains out when he realized about the Hollow Earth. Yeah, I agree. With a potentially $10 million budget, what they accomplished is truly incredible. I got the Cavity Colors minus color hoodie a couple days ago. I assume the shirt you're wearing is also Cavity Colors. It sure is. And in fact, if I were to do this, I too got the minus colored hoodie. I've never worn this, and I've never worn the shirt before today. It's a good occasion to bust them out. That is me playing in the background. Is it annoying? I don't know. I can't hear it. I think Packard is one of the best antagonists we've seen in any of the kaiju films. The fact that it was Arnold announcing that, I wish Danny DeVito had announced Godzilla, but the fact that we have Arnold saying Godzilla Minus One is pretty epic. Just wondering how you're doing it when we can see your hands. I'm beaming it telepathically is what I'm doing. Actually, you got me. I don't want to lie to you guys. I put fake legs on, and the feet are hands, so it's playing below me. It's got a piano on my feet, is what it is. Plague Doctor, thank you so much. I think what they meant by gatekeeping is the grifters, people like Dr. Skipper, critical drinker type people I kind of get behind. I understand the sentiment. I disagree with the premise. I understand that grifters, that's a fun word. I haven't seen that term used until very recently. I understand that grifters can be quite annoying, but ultimately spreading the gospel of Godzilla, even if you're doing it negatively, is still more engagement for Minus One, which is a good thing for the franchise overall. I think Killian deserved the Best Actor award. I would not have given it to Kamiki, although I did think his performance was really, really moving and very incredible. I sure do. The Kong feet down there. Ooh, I'm getting really sleepy, guys. I think I'm going to end it here soon. So send in your last questions and comments and all that good stuff, and I'll try and get to all of that, and then we'll wrap it up here. We've been going for a little while. How long have we been going for? About an hour and a half. We're doing well at the moment. Charles Dance was fun to hate in King of the Monsters. Totally agree. Destroya is more realistic in the Monsterverse. Yeah, I don't understand. I've never understood the King of the Monsters hate. Godzilla doesn't just bite Kong's toe, he sugs that thing. He sugs it deep in order to win that fight. Kong may have lost the battle, but at least he didn't stoop to that. If you pay attention to the clip of Godzilla's tail whipping Scar King, he starts to charge his spikes. Do you think he's about to blast Scar King after the tail whip? I don't know, maybe. Yeah, like Final Wars, maybe. Maybe he's going to blast him through the air. Very Showa styled. He does that to Kaiser Ghidorah. Maybe he's going to do that spinning beam where he blasts him through the air like Final Wars Godzilla does to Kaiser Ghidorah. Thank you, Oscar. That'd be great. That'd be great if we hit 100. It's been a big battle to try and get the channel through the 80s, and I feel like accomplished that we even did that. I don't think the number of toes is significant for Godzilla's character. Your favorite video that you made, you have one, don't lie. What's my favorite video that I made? It's the one that is my channel's welcome to the channel video. It is my Godzilla 2014 video essay that I did about how they redeemed Godzilla through the 2014 film. Hope you get better, and again, congratulations for the Godzilla win of the Oscars. Well, thank you very much, Sen. I'm doing all right. I'm just sleepy as all. Peace out, man. And because our boy Takashi won his first American award ever. Yes, Holmes. Very exciting. Did you drink enough water today? Maybe that's why you have a headache. I don't know why I have a headache. I have had a lot of water today. Do you think Scar King being portrayed as too much of a in the trailers and TV spots? Childish, I do think so. I feel like they should have made him a lot more menacing than show him get beat up a bunch, because that kind of deflates the stakes of the movie before you even see it. Yes, now both King Kong and Godzilla are Oscar winners. I'll tweet it out even. All right. I keep dinking the mic. That's my bad. All right, there, I tweeted it. Tweeted out the love. Ah, the actor who played Mickey is celebrating. Mickey Segusa. There's a lot of people celebrating. It's good stuff, man. I also love all the fan art of Godzilla with the Oscars that I've been seeing. D-Man sweep. What am I winning? Do you think Guillermo del Toro would be a good Western director for Godzilla series not based on the Monsterverse? Absolutely. I'm a bit new to the channel, and did you take a break from YouTube for a while? I did, well, welcome to the channel, first of all. I didn't take a full break, but I slowed all my uploads when I was in college for a long time. Like, I'd go months without posting. Thank you so much, JH Squid, for the super chat. I really appreciate that, man. Sup, D-Man? So happy for Minus One and the team behind it. I literally jumped out of my seat with excitement when they won. Love the channel, by the way. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the super chat. That means a lot to me. All right, I think I'm gonna wind things down. But I got a message to Yamazaki aside from the Cars pitch, which you can use for free. Yamazaki, that's yours. Go for it. I don't even need credit for it. I won't even. You don't even have to give me credit for it. Here, I'm gonna try and read these in Japanese. Let's see if I do a good job. Let's see how my sight reading is these days. 日本のゴジラがやったぞ. How's that? 日本のゴジラがやったぞ. Yarimashita ne. This one's gonna be hard to read. Omedeto Yamazaki Takashi san to Godzilla Minus One no Kiasoto Sutafu no Mimasen. That was rough. Godzilla in a tuxedo is always nice. Did you see the animated GXK poster promo? It's so funny. I did. It's so ridiculous. After 70 years, Godzilla won. He sure did, Nolan. He sure did, Nolan. Godzilla no kuni kara jusho. 本当に嬉しく思います。ありがとうございます。I'm happy to receive this award from the land of Godzilla. Thank you very much. Well, thank you. I appreciate the I appreciate all of the support I get from overseas. It always means a lot to me. I hope one day you get involved in a Godzilla project in any form. Overwort? Is that how you say that? Thank you, man. I hope so too. Well, time for sleep. See ya. All right, take care, spaceman. Oh, SP4H, thank you so much. I really appreciate the super chat. Enjoying your content quite a bit. Big night for the big G. Yes, it is. Alden Tolbert, thank you so much for the super chat. And ultra congrats for Godzilla's first Oscar. Yes, we finally have something to point to say, this is what Godzilla can be, you guys. Shut the haters up. I would love if they brought the King of the Monsters Godzilla bow tie suit back for the GXK premiere. All right, we could do one last thing to celebrate. One last thing. Give me a second here. I'm gonna try and I'm gonna try and get this. I'm gonna try and get this. So give me 1 second. I'll switch it over to myself. Konnichiwa. Thank you very much. Ohagaitabeyu. Thank you for tuning in. All right. Here's my, let me show you my progress, okay? We're not there yet. Still working on it. Was that epic? Okay. I'm gonna give you guys a progress report here. This is the song I'm currently learning. Let's pick a good sound for it. How's that sound? I think I should have won. I deserve an Oscar for my music. Ooh. Not the vibe of the song, but that could be cool. some strings going, get some synth. Here. This is what we're working on. This is gonna be rough, okay? Is that loud enough? Oops. Space. Here, let me move it up an octave. It'll be a little annoying, but... Pretty hard to play on this piano. Not normally that rough, although it is pretty hard. It goes, when I have a bigger piano, it plays a little different. I play a bit more like... Something like that. That's elegy. Would be a cool way for this to sound. Here, let me try something. This is unrelated, but this is one of the freaking coolest. One of the freaking coolest Godzilla themes we've ever gotten. that is Luigi Cozzi's theme for Godzilla, the Italian remake of Godzilla King of the Monsters from I think the 60s or 70s. It's pretty sick. But I figured this could be a good good synthy sound. Ooh, that's cooler. This could be a good synthy cool sound for this song. I could do a song request or two before we end it. I think a freaking Godzilla minus color would be hilarious. Plus color. Godzilla minus color plus color. I like that it just evens itself out. It's kind of beautiful that way. That was divine for minus one. Yes. What about this one? We're going to speed up the tempo. That Jeff immediately knew what movie or what song it was. We're only doing Godzilla themes. That's all I got. Childish, I actually don't know that one anymore. Well, we got a bit of the main part. Something like that. Rodan's theme. Was that the Rodan theme? Jeff, I covered it before. I've covered it on the channel before, but I'd have to hear it again, I think. I'd have to hear it again. I can't, because now I'm in my head, I can't even picture it as anything but the frickin' Jaguar song. What the heck is it? I can't picture it as anything but freaking Jaguar. Huh. Military March from Godzilla. Piano's dancing along. Childish pitching a certified stinker. Alright, let me see if I can remember this one. Huh. How does it go? How does it go? Ooh, that sounds right. Ooh, oh, we're cooking now. How's it go? Sometimes it takes a while. Think of what just a normal Pensacola, Florida is. I know I ended it. Something like that. I don't know. Alright, take care, train. I know, I gotta prepare for the new Empire. I gotta prepare because they're coming back. They're for sure gonna be in the new movie. Something like that. It was like striking. That's what it was. That's where it's played. The original Pensacola is played right here. Because it's literally one step up from Godzilla's actual theme. You know, it's a fun one to play. What would be a good... That's the first time I've ever tried to play that version of it. I don't know what a good normal version of it would be. Is that the right? It's so hard to find the right chord. Oh, I got it. All right. We'll end it with the classic. Ooh, that sounds nice. Space on here. guys seem to like it, so we'll go back to it. How am I gonna play this part? I don't have enough room. What? How can I not? I just played this morning. I'm so hard. Holy crap, why can't I get that? We're going again. That was harder than it should have been. That just goes to show how much of what I do is like muscle memory rather than knowing what I'm playing, because I don't know how to read sheets. I'm self-taught, so everything has to be in my head. Which unfortunately means the downside of that is that now if I'm on a different piano, if I'm not on what I'm normally on, it gets really difficult for me to know what the heck I'm doing. Alright, that's all set back up the way it goes. Alright. Let's actually end it here this time. Godzilla winning the Oscar was the best part of the Oscars. Absolutely. Kong putting on the Beast Glove type music. They're not going to use that theme in the movie. It's purely coincidence. Haya just announced a new King Ghidorah toy. Alright. Haya, let's see what you got. What Ghidorah is it? 1991 maybe? I don't see anybody mentioning it yet. But I do see people posting those sick-ass Yamazaki shoes that he wore to the Oscars. Shoes that are Godzilla? That is so freaking cool. I don't see anything about Haya King Ghidorah. Let me see. Here we go. King Ghidorah Gravity Beam version Godzilla King of the Monsters 2019. Hiya Exquisite Basic. $111. That's not a bad price. And he looks pretty cool. It's just a little more golden than the other one they did, it seems. And he's got the gravity beams with him this time. Didn't SH do something very similar and people absolutely dunked on it because they didn't like it? I feel like that tends to happen where SH will do something, people will dunk on it. Someone else will do it and people will just let it slide. Kind of the same thing with the VFX. VFX, people will let unpolished VFX slide when it comes to Minus One, but they won't let it slide when it comes to other Godzilla films. If they continue the Monsterverse, what kaiju do you think they'll introduce next? From the monster from Toho, probably like Anguirus or Destroya or something. Yeah, Nolan, I wish Minus One had won more awards too, but, you know, it's winning a lot of awards at other festivals. Yamazaki's Godzilla shoes are so freaking dope, man. I have the gold SH and regular Haya. Well, that sounds like a pretty perfect balance to me. All right, you guys, this is where we will end it. Thank you guys for sticking with me. It's been like 2 hours. Thanks for letting me play piano because it helped restore my vocal cords, which we're starting to give. All right. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Especially thank you to those who sent in the super chats. That I really, really appreciate that. Thank you to everybody who supports the Patreon as well. That means so much to me. I hope you guys all had a wonderful night, and I'm excited to continue discussing Minus One, what the Oscar win means, all that good stuff in the future. I'm really excited about all that stuff, so please keep tuning in, and we'll keep doing this. We'll keep doing it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. And remember to tweet Yamazaki about Boats Minus One. All right. Good night, everybody. D-Man out.